Addiction to drama and chaos. This is going to be a two-part video, today's and Friday's. Thank you. FYI, sorry folks, I've turned off commenting on my GoFundMe donations because I'm being stalked. I always appreciate your donations, but I'm winding down on the channeling. I need to focus elsewhere for now. I can only feel compassion for someone who is so mind-controlled that they should obsess about another person, but that doesn't mean I want him in my life. I don't. My being stalked falls in line with the subject of this message. Those who run the Matrix are trying to victimize me again, and I won't allow it. I've been dealing with smelly archons while sleeping lately, and this has stopped for now. Yes, demonics have a bad smell. What did you think they'd smell like? Roses. LOL. Apparently I can smell them but not see them. Good enough. We sent the stinkers packing the other night. But their intention to re-involve me in their programming doesn't end there. It's at all levels, and you have to be aware of this. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and astrally, they have their minions out to try to ensure you stay in the Matrix. So you have to be wise to all of their tactics. I threw a big chunk of black tourmaline under my bed. Maybe that will at least give them indigestion next time they come visiting. The Matrix will always find Smiths to try to re-involve you in its programming again. These are typically, as Lisa Renee says, spiritually weak people who have done little inner work on themselves, and unfortunately they are more subject to mind control than those like myself who have worked diligently to extricate themselves from this programming. Ironically, it's these people who have the most to give to heal the collective, if they'd only stop blaming and start taking responsibility. My thanks goes out to the men and women of this planet who have stalked and obsessed about others, and have overcome it. It's only artificial mind control programming, and it can be overcome by using your powerful mind as a weapon against it, if you want to see it that way. When you get wise to the programs that Lisa Renee has described on her website and the ones Ivo and I are talking about when we talk about my life as a victim, my tyrannical narcissistic father, and my narcissistic dark mother, you have the keys to the kingdom in your hands. Why? Because, as Renee explains, the way to bring this world to its knees and control it was through manipulation of the parents. This brings about generational dysfunction and perpetual continuation of the cycles of abuse. If your family hasn't experienced large amounts of abuse throughout past generations, may I suggest that perhaps they are compliant. It's the fighters that get attacked more, not the ones who toe the line and hold the status quo. But watch, when you step out of line, all the Smiths in your family tree will notice and try to get you back in compliance. That's why you should never fall for anyone who calls you crazy, silly, paranoid, or whatever else we light workers hear from those who are unawakened. They're trying to victimize you, and this is programming. It's not for nothing I'm shadow banned, folks. But I know many of you are looking for intel that you can pass on to others but aren't doing the work on yourselves. That's too bad, because you're missing the whole point. The point is, you have to be familiar with archontic mind control programming to be able to see it coming at you, and if you've never experienced being victimized, you might fall prey to their agenda. Some people call it bullying. How much bullying do we see in the schoolyard? It starts young. They have us programmed by the time we're 7, in fact. I was reminded, this isn't really an addiction, although it appears to be such, it's mind control programming. Lisa Renee is a sixth-dimensional indigo walk-in who remembers her lives in the galaxy. She has written a body of work in staggering detail. She has gone into detail about artificial mind control programming that is being run on us, and what it seeks to do. This mind control programming, as she states, has created a death culture of our world, where hatred, fear, and war are common. This is not the true state of a human, as Ivo has said, and it is definitely not how we function at our very best. That's the purpose, of course, to enslave us as powerless, barely functioning human beings who are easy to manipulate and to control. I've taken excerpts from Lisa's website in order to try to make clear what programs they're running on us. Ivo and I have gone into detail about how to stop being a victim of this programming, and many of you aren't watching our videos, which is a pity because you're the ones still enacting the death culture, hating on others and enacting draconian egotistical behaviors. There is no such thing as emotional illness, it's all about fighting mind control. All of it. Emotional illness is explainable when you look at the negative archetypes they have insinuated into the mind control programming that they perpetrate upon us. What they are focused on is destroying the divine father and mother behaviors within us. In doing so, in creating tyrannical fathers and dark mothers, like mine were, they know they can destabilize and control the entirety of humanity. Again, I see questions about child abuse, irrational parents, and crazy family members. This video explains everything. They are mind controlled. This has been going on for a long time. That's why people are suffering and addicted to drama and chaos. Lisa Renee, from Ascension Glossary. The goal of the invading entities which brought on the Lyran Wars, was to destroy access between the Universal Gates, Lyran Gates, and Andromeda, to prevent any metaterrestrial founder races from gaining access into the Milky Way system, and preventing the future seedings and incarnations of the Christos founder race's DNA. But soon the Lyran Wars spread to the constellation of Orion and through the metagalactic core, where it became a war with those who wanted to dominate others in this system based upon the victim-victimizer fear-based mindsets. This can also be called archetypal enemy patterning. Entities with the service to self ideology were attempting to enslave or eliminate those who followed the law of one, with the ideology of service to others that held love-based mindsets. And of course this is what the benevolent extraterrestrials, like Ivo, are trying to reinstate within our minds, law of one values. This extreme polarity consciousness was amplified due to the AI levels of programming used to weaponize attacks against multiple other species. The Bourga from the black hole system inserted this virus with AI programming into our matrix, creating a time rip with technology called Victim-victimizer software. This means there is a virus in our matrix, they created a program with it to enslave us. The main goal of the victim-victimizer mind control and software is based on divide and conquer tactics and intentionally programming humanity to think thoughts of violence and hatred about others to promote the archontic deception behaviors and their unethical AD strategies as a fear-based control belief system. You see this now with Be Lives Matter, Anti-Fab, even the guy who was supposed to be an Anon who raided the White House on January 6. They are trying to get the public to hate Anons by lying about us. As long as humans think thoughts and maintain belief systems of the predator mind, and feed into the alien software programs, they create victims and victimizers and spread more hatred and violence into the earth grids. Humans exchange roles between acting as the archetypal victim, and then because they do not want to be a victim anymore, they switch their role to become a victimizer. Both are forms of perpetuating inner and or outer violence. I watch my neighbors do this all the time. They're tapped into the programming, totally mind-controlled and ready to start fights with the neighbors on the other side at the drop of a hat. Something written down, someone made some noise the other family didn't like, garbage here or there, something stolen, cameras on the lawn, it doesn't matter, they just keep acting out the software programming. I just sit there trying to teach them temperance and patience, but they keep aggressing against each other. I'm glad I'm moving away soon. When you understand in detail the programming they're running on us, you'll automatically know what's fake and what's real. Study Lisa's website and you'll get it. It's not that hard. Victimizer programming. Lisa Renee says. Victim-victimizer or VV programming. The unfortunate result is that unstable people that have not done much mental or emotional clearing, have built up hidden pain and trauma, that are easily controlled and manipulated by dark forces to play out their fears in the 2D or lower mind. These kind of people go unconscious and flip out very easily, are very weak spiritually, have low impulse control and are at high risk for dark portal use or possession. This means if you're not doing your inner work, you're easily manipulated by the system. If you're not looking at yourself but blaming everyone else, you're enacting the victimizer programming. Looking for someone to blame puts you in the victimizer position, and when a victim and a victimizer do their dance, they switch positions all the time, but in the end they're both trapped in the web. Until they stop being a victim, they will never leave the web of this programming. I watch my neighbors do it all the time. It's interesting, but I see how stuck they are. Feeling victimized, feeling angry at someone the other, which makes them the victimizer. This programming is insidious. You have to be careful of it all the time. I get pinged almost daily and have to look at where I still have old wounds that needs healing. It's the only way out of it. Ivo says doing chakra rebalancing every day also helps reduce the amount of work to be done. Not surprisingly, thinking that way, they have many opportunities to continue their life of victimization. It's what you attract. This is what Renee is saying about feeding your energy into the artificial system. That's how you do it. The irony is, you can use this programming to your advantage. You can use it to heal old wounds. It'll show you where they are.